So, you're playing The Waiting Game, the last one of 2013 in fact, and with the new year just around the corner, or already upon us depending on when you're watching this, we thought it'd be nice to have a look at our 5 most anticipated games of 2014. So, in no particular order... Well, of course Titanfall's in the mix. We've already done a whole episode on this game. It's still worth talking about, mind, because, well, we really want to play it. Titanfall, if you missed it, is an online shooter pitting you against both rival players and AI popcorn enemies, designed to let you farm experience without a real person having to suffer the frustration of dying every time you make a kill.
Just lost Charlie.
Those are the core gameplay mechanics, but it's the physical mechs that really count, because if you do well enough, you get to pilot one of the game's eponymous Titans. Exploring the game world is also refreshingly different, with double jump and mantling abilities adding an element of verticality few shooters attempt. Unless we're talking about Brink, and I'm pretty sure we're not. Whether or not you really care about double jumps and big machines, it'll certainly be interesting to see how Respawn Entertainment fare with their first game. Next is Tom Clancy's The Division, or as you may remember it from the E3 announcement, Tom Clancy's that game where the dude closes the door as he moves alongside the car for cover. What can I say, I'm a sucker for the small details. The plot of Tom Clancy's that game where the dude closes the door as he moves alongside the car for cover is as follows. On Black Friday, a disease begins to ravage the United States. In just 5 days, the whole country collapses. You play as a member of a group called the Strategic Homeland Division, or The Division for short, striving to salvage as much of the nation as it can from the ashes, shooting AI targets and real-world players in the process. Funny way to go about rebuilding a country if you ask me, but then no one's ever asked me to try. While The Division was initially going to be a next-gen console exclusive, enough fans raised a clamour to get the PC version signed off by Ubisoft, thereby raising the number of people who'll be able to play it when it launches in 2014. So that'll be nice. Next on the list is the long-awaited Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Okay, let's try and ignore that thing a few months ago when Kojima started jabbering on about how erotic he wanted to make the game, as the stealth action title still looks pretty decent. Snake has borrowed Kiefer Sutherland's voice and face for an all-new adventure in which he wakes up after 9 years in a coma. Taking the new name Punished Snake, he then ventures into Afghanistan during the Soviet War to find those responsible. With a totally open world and some sweet stealth horse action, MGS5 seems to be quite an ambitious offering for the series which, after 25 years of franchise history, will either make fans very happy or very angry. We can't wait to see which. Alright, we're nearly there with our most anticipated games of 2014, and the next is another we've already covered on this show. What are the odds? Quite high, actually.
I wasn't always this guy.
Yes, technically it's supposed to be out by now, but then that pesky delay came in and ruined everything. Nonetheless, Watch Dogs looks very interesting indeed, putting you in charge of super hacker Aiden. You're free to roam the open world, merrily hacking your way into all sorts of things, bank accounts, phones, even traffic lights if causing car crashes is your thing. With gameplay demos so far showing Aiden helping a fellow hacker escape and even going on a cheeky assassination run, it looks like there'll be plenty to do in the game's version of Chicago. Interestingly, you can even infiltrate another player's campaign mode without them knowing, then try and hack into that person's data without them noticing and killing you. Just perfect if your New Year's resolution is to grief more people over the internet. And finally in this New Year's special is the game set to be the most amusing, unpredictable, and possibly offensive release of 2014. I don't even really need to say it, do I?
There it is. The Inn of the Giggling Donkey.
Yes, South Park: The Stick of Truth is the role-playing game we least expected to see. Under development by Obsidian Entertainment, the folks who handled Fallout New Vegas, The Stick of Truth makes you the new kid in the sweary cartoon Colorado town. With a sense of humour every bit as outlandish as the show it's based on, you might be forgiven for thinking the gameplay may be a little light, especially given some of the South Park games that have preceded it, because frankly, they sucked. Astoundingly though, the gameplay looks as deep as any RPG you'd care to mention, with turn-based combat, potions, abilities, and weapon add-ons all adding complexity without skipping on the fun, as demonstrated by the ability to kick one's foes in the nuts.
No!
And with that, I think it's about time to kick 2013 in the nuts. A very happy new year to each and every one of you. I'll be back next week when the show will be back to its usual book, film, game, and TV peddling self. If you have any recommendations to make in the meantime, please do leave us a comment or tweet with the hashtag GSWaitingGame. Happy New Year!